Coming up on this episode of Free Lunch.
You're in a relationship, married or not, and you're dedicating all your time, your energy, your resources, and everything in a relationship and building, someone else, the mate, and then you're still now years, maybe months or years later, looking back saying, well, what did I do for me?
Go to TikTok for the shenanigans. That's what we want to see.
The understanding that everyone does have a story, but it's up to you to tell your story. It's up to you to live your story.
And that's what we do. We're picky with who we want to support us. Mm-hmm. And then we undermine the people who are there, though. Mm-hmm. You got one of them long, like my wife. She got this 40-minute facials regimen. I'd be like, splash water on my face. We could kind of set ourselves up on an island and be distant. Mm-hmm. And kind of just we caught up in our head of vision and ideas. It's Free Lunch Season 3 with a special thanks to our sponsors, Bullseye-LLC.com, Ready, Aim, Bullseye, where safety is our ammo, Gen1LLC.info, Generation 1 Logistics, taking pride in putting our carriers first and helping owner-operators get premium loads, stay organized, and increase profit, and ScarletOakCandleCo.com, the self-care experts. What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Freestyle Gospel, a.k.a. The Real Frii, with another episode of Free Lunch. And I have the 8-time best-selling author here, Tamara Mitchell-Davis. Yes?
Yes.
I said it right, Tamara?
No, but...
Tamara. 8 times, I'm going to start all over. I have here 8-time best-selling author, Tamara Mitchell-Davis, y'all. Give it up for her, y'all.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Anytime I could get a celebrity guest in, I try my best to get them in here, even if it's only for a short period of time, because you have a lot of things to do today, but you still grace me with your presence. So I'm super happy about that. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
CEO, founder of the CEO Wife. I was gonna give it something on the end, like CEO Wife collab, collective organization, foundation, but I realized the CEO Wife is like it's a whole lot. What is the CEO Wife?
So the CEO Wife is an opportunity for wives to merge business, brilliance, and books, so they both all three coexist. We don't have to sacrifice one or the other. Been there, done that. And so the movement is around just living our best blessed lives.
Living our
books,
best lives.
Business, and brilliance.
So the fellas are not welcome. This is for the ladies, y'all. This is for the ladies. I love that. It's actually one of my G14 classified super secret questions that I put on my card here. But before I get to that, when you're in that space of, like, we've all been in the position of having, let's say, an interview for a new job, right? Mm-hmm. Where, we want this new job and we go there, sit into the room with the interviewer and, they ask you, what are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? But even before that, I'd argue, at least in the creative spaces, whether people are, into TV, acting, modeling, or, creative type workspaces, oftentimes you're asked, hey, tell me a little bit about yourself. Mm-hmm. And it's that super packed question. It's like, what do you tell me about yourself? Like, what part of me? Because there's so many parts and facets of who we are. Mm-hmm. What if someone was to ask you, who are you in family? Mm-hmm. What would you say?
So,
I narrowed it to that.
Yeah, I was about to say, because now my mind is all over the place thinking about that. So I am a mom. I have 2 beautiful daughters, 28 and 18. Mm-hmm. So I'm a mom. Hold on. Say, well,
time out. Hold on. You said you have 2 daughters. 28 is what you said?
Yes.
No, you don't.
I'm serious. Why?
You have a 28-year-old.
Yes. We over? We done?
I'm thinking, I'm speechless, clearly. You got me all messed up, man.
Why?
Because I'm thinking you like 30-something.
Oh, well, thank you.
I'm like 28. What, you had this kid at 8 years old?
Thank you.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God. All right. I'm sorry. Because you had a train of thought and I messed you up because you messed me up. Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So
28 and 18.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you serious?
I'm dead serious. I thought you were like my age, maybe a little
what's
older.
Your age?
I'm 39.
Ballpark.
I'll be
Okay.
39 this year. I'll almost 40.
Okay.
Okay.
My little brother.
Clearly. This. All right. Carry on.
Yeah. So wife, mom. Yeah. Where were we? I mean,
Family. Who are you at?
So family.
In family.
So just hardworking, loving. I am the type that likes to create memories, so I do that with my daughters as often as possible, or my family at large. So,
in your family, do you have a nickname in your family?
Tammy is
Tammy.
That's my nickname.
Okay.
So if someone calls me Tammy, I know they know me from back in the day.
So I'm not allowed to call you Tammy.
No, we didn't grow up together.
No. Yo, gatekeeper of the nicknames. Okay. So, I mean, does like regular people get a like nickname, like an alternative nickname for you?
No.
Mm-mm. They don't even.
No, it's Tamara.
It's Tamara.
Yes.
The whole mouthful. Make sure you say my utterance
I mean,
complete.
Before we already went through this. Tamara, Tamara. So, yeah, it's all good.
I knew a Tammy once. Mm-hmm. Tammys are cool.
They are.
They are.
Yeah.
Tenacious.
Extremely cool, yeah.
Tenacious beings.
Yeah, that too.
Mm-hmm. How would your family describe you? I mean, you have like adult kids, all right? So, if I was to ask one of your adult kids, what's mom like? How are you described, affectionately in your circle?
I hope they would say, if they're listening to Miriam Michaela, I hope they would say,
get it right, y'all.
Right. Loving, or, love hard, supportive, don't take no mess. I think that would sum it up.
If the hubby was to describe you, would it be all the same words, or should it be some extra words in there?
Probably some extra words in there.
What are the extra words?
Maybe a bit challenged, like
somewhere in the list of mine for my wife, sometimes a little too smart for her own good,
that's it.
Highly intelligent.
Yeah.
Okay.
We get in that question right there.
Okay. I love it. So how long has the CEO wife been a thing? When did that become established?
It been a thing about 2 years with the pandemic. The pandemic started, and I had already been a published author at the time, but when the pandemic started is when I really, you're home and thinking about what's next and what to do, and I was working with a coach, and that's where the book collab idea was birthed. And so I started my first anthology, which is the book collaboration project with wives, on that project talking about purpose and entrepreneurship. And so that was birthed in 2020. And from there, I started the podcast and events, annual events around authorship, entrepreneurship, personal development for the author.
And that's the CEO Wife's Academy, Writers Academy.
Nope. You've been no. It's called Pen to Profit.
Pen to Profit.
Yeah, that's the conference.
So I'm looking. I got that from the website.
Yeah, that's the academy. So I do have an online course, an online program,
and that's actually open to anyone.
Yeah, women.
Any women. They don't have to be necessarily have been authors already. They can come here as authors or come newbies, basically haven't ever published or anything before.
Yeah, so it's for the aspiring author looking to be published. So just training on coaching around the writing and publishing space, getting their books published, building their author platform and business, and moving with that.
Now, establishing something that's like during the pandemic, a lot of ideas from a lot of different creators were birthed as a result of the pandemic. What was some of the challenges in birthing a project like this during the pandemic, though, that you had to kind of overcome? Because you were already an author before the pandemic, right?
Yes.
But this was more than just about you being an author now.
Right. So it was about ushering others through the process of becoming authors. And so it was believing in myself to, from inception to the end, execution. And it was the load of being responsible for others other than myself. Because when you're doing something for yourself, it's like, okay, this is mine. If I stumble, fall, get back up, keep moving. But to me, it's just the extra sense of responsibility and weight because you're working in support of other people.
Exactly.
So you're, supporting them in that process. But it was fantabulous. Fantabulous.
Yes.
It was fantabulous. We had a great experience. And from there, went into Project 2 and just been moving since. But there were some, anything that you try new and that's unfamiliar, sometimes you have that level of discomfort, like, will this work? Should I do it? Should I not? And just sitting with it and
that's the thought you have anytime, let alone during a pandemic.
Right. Anything you do that's not familiar, like it's the new of it. So you do have those questions and wonderings.
You said one of your kind of the opening quotes also that I came across on your site is you talk about attracting people in your life who want to see you win. I think that applies to anybody, men or women, right? That's beneficial, men or women. Attracting people in your life that want to see you win. Someone would ask, I think, how do you attract people that want to see you win? Like, I think people would on the surface assume that's not something on me to do. That's not something I attract. That's just something that exists. People either naturally out in the world or my family or a circle of people, they either want to see me win or they don't want to see me win. And I think, we kind of haphazardly go throughout our day-to-day or our lives thinking that just happens automatically. But you use the word attract, and that's what I want to zero in on. I'm interested in is how do you actually attract the kind of people who want to see you win? What is it that you have to do? What element in that is you?
So, great question. So for one, I think it's about, for me, I'm speaking for myself, just opening myself up to receive that type of support or that type of community. So approaching it, when you come from different areas, walks of life, or just have different experiences, sometimes you can be closed off on relationships or building relationships. And so for me, it was opening myself up to wanting to intentionally build relationships and not only fostering or cultivating those types of relationships, but actually speaking what I want. So when I go into a relationship with, a potential partner or a client, just having that understanding of expectations and being intentional, because it's not just one-sided. Like, it's a relationship and it takes two. And so I had to become more aware of how I flow and how I work in my own, my own togetherness or lack thereof, to be intentional to open myself up for those types of relationships. And then when I have those relationships, being intentional with how I support, how I speak, because you want the same reciprocated. If you give out, you want something to come back in. Hopefully it does. But if I want respect, I'm giving respect. If I want to have, an open relationship and we're able to collab, then I need to speak what my needs are. And hopefully if we're on the same page, we can move forward and explore it.
I like two things you said in that response. One is being able to receive the support, right? And then two, being intentional, which are two things that I think as entrepreneurs or business owners, creatives alike, we really struggle with, because we can kind of put ourselves, because we have so much vision and so much of us is oftentimes uniquely different from the average person. We could kind of set ourselves up on an island and be distant and kind of just we caught up in our head of vision and ideas. So one, we're not even cognizant of potential support that may already pre-exist. That's right there in front of us. And then there are times where, okay, now we're grinding, and occasionally we lift our head up, and then when we even see and witness support, we have to be receptive to that, to like let that support come in.
Oh yeah.
And that's where I think the intentionality comes in. Is okay, here are these potential supports that exist. How can I be purposeful with those relationships? Like, I'm doing this on purpose, which is one of the like pet peeves I have. I don't know if you have this pet peeve as an entrepreneur, as a business person, but I cannot stand when someone calls me and it's just to talk about the weather. Oh, that irks me. That irks me.
Just to talk about the weather.
Yeah, I mean that. Generally speaking, more as a metaphor for anything that's empty talk conversation.
Oh.
Yeah. Like, so, and my wife, she always gets on me because she says I'm being mean or it's not polite. But, let's say one of the guys, calls me and it's like, hey, Frii, what's going on? I'm like, nah, man, nothing, man, just chilling. What's up? Yeah, man, I'm out here, it's crazy. This rain is coming down. Or, man, I just came from the city, man, it's hot, man. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, that's crazy. So what's up? Like, I'm a so what's up?
Yeah.
I'm a what's up guy.
Right.
You know what I mean? And my wife will be across the room. She'll be like, signaling me, you sound rude. Or that's me. And I'm like, no, I sound like I'm trying to get to the point.
Right.
Because I'm a busy person.
Extra fluff, yeah.
Yeah. Like, and it's not to be mean. It's my way, one of the many ways. I'm trying to actually be intentional with the relationship. One, because, tomorrow's not promised to any of us, right? And time is money. Just keep it real.
Right.
Okay. Now if let's just say, okay, somebody could go, well, what, Chris, if they really just wanted to like build with you. Okay, well, building has intentional conversation around even that.
Right.
Building isn't some just general, building is even that language has it's characteristic of something. It's you can tell that's a building conversation. Or you start on the onset out the gate, you start with that as the purpose of my conversation. Yeah. So what does that look like? When I'm calling one of my boys to have a building conversation, so no, I don't have something for you to do for me or something to literally speak directly to in that sense. I call, hey, Frii, what's up? Yo, man, nah, nothing much, man, don't need anything from you. Don't have anything. I just, you crossed my mind. I wanted to call you to check in on you, see if you was okay. How was you doing? So from the gate, I've already put that person in a headspace to go, hey, this conversation is actually more about us or me checking in on you. If there's if you're mentally, emotionally, you're okay. Now, what you could do now in response, if you're in the middle of something or you busy and you don't have time for that type of conversation, now I've at the beginning of it already let you know that's what I want to do, and you could tell me there.
Right, I'll call you later.
Appreciate you. Yo, I'm in the middle. Let me call you back.
Yes.
And I love those. Like, I like the people to check in on me. But let me know that's what you're doing. You're checking in on me.
Yeah.
Not the empty, yeah. Like, come on.
That would be, my response.
That's a text.
What we doing here?
That's a text message, right? Isn't that a text?
Yeah.
Which is why you see those people with those phones that you got like 100 unread text message notifications. What's going on?
You was looking at my phone?
See? This is how this happens. Is because now I can respond to that kind of question or text when I have time. I got time like that to do that. So yeah, that's just me trying to be intentional with those relationships, y'all. I'm not being mean.
But when I'm intentional also, when it comes to like business, I'm more of a collaborator too. So I want to know, like, how do we make it make sense together? Yeah.
What are you doing?
Right.
Well, what are you doing?
Those are type of relationships.
But isn't that's even a focused question?
Yes.
How can I support you?
Yes.
Not just. So, man, Frii, what you been working on lately these days? I mean, I've been working on the 6 things that you've been seeing me all year, man, grinding, man. I'm working on the podcast, I'm doing voiceovers, I'm doing this. What are you Now, a different question is, hey, Frii, like, I saw you was working on this. How can I support that? How do you need help with that? Or, what are the hurdles or challenges you're having with that?
Right. You know what happens sometimes, though? Although we say we want help, I'm guilty of this. So I'm calling my own self. I'm calling me out right now. That although we say that we need help, if someone calls and say, how can I support you? Like, I had to get better with that. I had to get better with receiving support because I would be the type that's like, oh, no, I'm good. I'm straight. Good. Or thinking about, well, the time I take to say to you what I need, I can just do it myself. But I had to check me and like, no, if you need help, you want help, you're asking for help. When help shows up, you need to be able to receive it.
Yes, that's true. And a lot of times I'm guilty of that as well. So I tell myself too, so you don't feel alone.
Thank you.
I think sometimes we make subconscious or even very consciously value judgments on the place from which the support might be coming from. And so we listen to people, you know, if it's that person that's reaching out, and I think we sometimes we erroneously assess their capacity or their degree in which they can help.
Yeah.
And if we feel like, you know what, I don't think you can help me anyway, we tell those people, oh no, I'm good, I'm straight. But if Bill Gates called you and was like, so Tamara, how can I help you? Oh, you got a whole list. Wait, hold up. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think we're all subconsciously guilty of that. You know, we make these value judgments on one another. And I think I even, like, in another just space, right? Not to switch gears entirely, but another space where I know I subconsciously make value judgments is when it comes to when we even talk about the level of support we have or don't have in our sphere of influence, whether it's social media or our network. So you see people get on social media and they might talk about, you know, it's crazy how it's like people out here, you know, just won't support, or, you know, I tried to do this and, you know, it's crazy. Like, you know, a lot of y'all don't support out there, this and that. I've been guilty of that. And what God had to really show me is to place greater value and even gratitude on the support that does exist. Because I had to realize I was giving too much attention and energy to focus on this greater piece of the world not supporting. And I was totally, in doing that, missing those people who are supporting you, though. You have committed, you know, long-standing people that always support you. And granted, they might not be the people that you would like to support you. Maybe they're not, you know, whether it's like, you know, public figures or celebrities or, you know what, but I want, you know, that director to support me, or, you know, this person who I know is also big in this space. I want this author to support me. I want them to support me. And that's what we do. We're picky with who we want to support us. And then we undermine the people who are there, though.
I think in general, just you saying that, it goes back to the gratitude piece. Like, so even considering thinking from the growth mindset of, you know, what do I have here now? Who's doing this now versus looking at what's not happening. And like you said, we can fall guilty and prey to that. But if we spin it around back to the gratitude focus, then we can appreciate who is or who are supporting.
Yes.
So yeah, I totally get you on that one.
What's the secret, you'd say, for blending?
Ooh, I don't even know where this is coming from, but I just got. Okay, what's the secret?
What's the
You
secret?
looked at the card.
What's the secret to successfully blending business, family, and dreams? I'm sure there's probably not just one thing.
I was about to say.
There's a multitude of things.
Yeah.
If you could just zero in on a couple things.
So for me, it's reminding myself that I don't have to sacrifice my dreams, my goals for the other things. So I value family. I value my relationship. I value, you know, my daughters. I value my brother. Like, I value people in my life, friends. I value them.
So let me pause you right there. So what you're saying is, off rip, the secret to successfully blending business, family, and dreams is to first convince yourself it's possible. That I don't have to negotiate. I don't have to sacrifice one or the other.
Yes.
So we start there.
That's my that's the cake.
I'm giving the
that's part of the ingredients.
Yep. Tamara's mix.
Yes.
This is Tamara's mix, y'all. This is not, she ain't speaking for nobody else but herself. Was working for her.
Yeah.
Let's hear it.
Yeah. So I think it's convincing myself, because somewhere along the lines, you know, growing up and just seeing different relationships or not seeing the type of relationships, you don't know going in what it's like until you're in it. And therefore, you might have these preconceived notions of the expectation or your role and how things are supposed to function, and just the will turn and lose yourself in the process. So, you know, when you're raising kids, it's like, okay, my focus is strictly on my kids. But then the kids grow up and leave home, and then now you're stuck with regret, thinking about shoulda, woulda, couldas. Or you're in a relationship, you know, married or not, and you're dedicating all your time, your energy, your resources, and everything in a relationship and building, you know, someone else, the mate, and then you're still now years, maybe months or years later, looking back saying, well, what did I do for me? And then you can still find yourself in regret. And so for me, I'm constantly reminding myself, like, I don't want to live with regret. And I have been in situations where I poured everything that I knew or thought I could into something and then found myself empty. So how do I keep me tapped in and full and connected and feel as if I am living a purposeful life without losing myself? Because God created me, right? He created me. I'm a mom now. I'm a wife. I'm a business owner, full-time career woman, all these things. But yet I'm still myself. I'm still woman first. And so, yes, it's great that I have, access or relationships and, the business and all these other things. But for me, it's frightening to think about me losing myself in it all. Like, what's my identity? I am a mom, but my identity, what's, what? And this really hit me maybe about 12, 13 years ago when I was sitting thinking, okay, well, who are you? What do you enjoy? What do you love? What's your favorite food? What's your favorite color? Like some of those things I didn't have answers for, and that scared me. So if I said to you, I have a 28-year-old, I was at that place, and you do the math, at that place where I was thinking like, so I've lived, X amount of years to be at this point. Survive certain things, but yet I'm sitting here empty. I'm sitting here not knowing and having answers to questions that I should know about me. So since then, I've been on a self-exploration journey of what do I like? What do I not like? What makes me tick? Where's my heart? I'm always thinking about that now.
I love that.
Yeah. Let me get off my
gosh. Stay there, preach. Wow. I can't help myself, y'all. You guys have got to see Tamara. And you don't have makeup on.
I don't. I just have on some.
She got almost 30-year-old child. Yeah. Oh my Lord. You're nowhere. You're not over 38 yourself. This is what I'm telling, but you cannot.
That. Thank you. I appreciate that.
And I know black don't crack. I know this.
If I take this,
I know this.
Okay.
In theory and even personally, but I've never seen it to this degree. Okay. Like, you tripping me out. I'm bugging. I don't get tripped out and bugged over this because I know this. I'm black. I know black don't crack.
Right.
But you're on a whole different level of non-crackness.
Why, thank you.
That's crazy. What's the secret? You got a secret?
You
got one of them like long, like my wife. She got like this 40-minute facials. Regimen. I'd be like, splash water on my face. I don't even think I put lotion on my face.
No, I don't have a regimen. I don't. And just you saying this, like yesterday I was on the phone with a girlfriend and I was thinking about like I'm getting older. And I'm still, like I said, self-exploration. I'm still thinking about, okay, what have I done? What do I need to do? What stone is left unturned? And so for you I brought that up to her yesterday. I'm like, I'm getting older, how I feel, body and just everything.
Do you exercise regularly?
No, not anymore. Like, I need to get back on the train. I do. I used to go spinning every morning at 4:30 in the morning. About maybe 4 years ago, I fell off and I go back sporadically and I need to get back into it. But I'm saying.
Diet? You got like fancy diet?
No. And I'm thanking you because I was just questioning some things yesterday, like just the thought of getting older and what we're doing, like what I'm doing with my life and so on and so forth. So for you to say that.
Something is, something is preserving you. I would think part of that, equation really comes from a result of you're being you from the inside out. You're tending to those things on the inside. Even though, let's say, so you say you need to get back maybe to working out, right? No, I'm not dieting. No, I'm not putting on makeup. But all those things, I think, come secondary to the work that people should do on the inside first. Yeah. And I think that may be a key factor in the equation of what has sustained and kept you at the rate it is because at some point in your past, you decided to make this shift to where I now look inward. I look inside and discover what it is that I like, what it is I'm called to do, who it is that I am, and be connected to that and driven. And I think as that inside becomes fulfilled, it shows itself on the outside.
And I think it's always evolving. Like, just hearing you say that, I'm like, yes, that's true, but there's more. There's more.
Yes,
Right? I
indeed.
mean, for me to even be yesterday, like I said, just thinking about and talking about some things with my girlfriend, just on this, like it's not like, oh, you just arrive and that's it. It's always evolving. So yeah, I don't have a regimen. I don't have any of that. And even
Not that it's bad for anybody who has that.
No, right. It's
Absolutely
not bad. No. Just you saying like the internal thing. Like I'm really putting in work to figure out the way I tick, like just how I function, who I am, for so long, growing up, just all the stuff, all the baggage, all the it-ish, whatever, all of it, and it's time to unpack. And that's what I started doing. And it's so maybe I might float a little bit because I'm not as heavy and weighted down. But even driving this morning, I was thinking like, there's more weight I need to get rid of, literally and figuratively.
And that's where I'm at. I'm assessing spaces where I have to relieve myself of the weight. Having, surgeries earlier this year and blood clot, and now I went to the doctors yesterday. I found out I got high cholesterol. I'm too young for that foolishness. But I know a lot of things, just me even feeling greater levels of anxiety, from day to day recently. It makes me like look really internally to go like, what is that? What is happening around me that maybe like subconsciously is making its way from up here, from my head and into the rest of my body. What are some of the things I'm telling myself? What are some of the value judgments I'm making without realizing it? So on the Free Lunch podcast, free food for your soul, we like to wrap up always with the guests sharing with our listeners the way food edifies the body. What is something they could leave the listeners with that edifies the soul? So free lunch in that way. Whether it's something that we shared already or discussed already, or something totally new that comes to your mind, what would you like to leave our listeners with? Wish we had her much longer, guys. Tamara is like a really, really busy woman. We definitely gonna have her back on the show, but they're gonna be like, man, what you talking about, Frii? You only give us 30 minutes. I know, I'm sorry, but leave us with something that could edify the soul.
So because
look, see y'all, she got the alarm. She made me put an alarm on in the studio because she had to get up out of here on time.
Because I'm in the space of writing books, and I'm sure that listeners have heard everyone has a story.
Yes.
I would just like to leave everyone, our listeners or watchers, by way of video, with the understanding that everyone does have a story, but it's up to you to tell your story. It's up to you to live your story. And for me, as a reminder for myself, I always think about, we have one life to live, and it's not a dress rehearsal. That's something that we know, we've heard, may have seen somewhere before, and it's just like, this is it, right?
I haven't heard that, and it's not a dress rehearsal.
It's not a dress rehearsal.
That last part, wow.
Right? And someone will argue because they'll say, oh, well, yeah, I've had a few lives because things have happened, right? In their life, and they were given a second and third chance and so on. But for the most, we don't bank on having those extra chances. So that's why, it's not a dress rehearsal. So just live your best life and do what makes your heart sing or grow or tick or dance, and tap into who you are and your source, and do what makes you happy. Because at the end of the day, if you're not happy or fulfilled, you'll find yourself later on in life perhaps living with what you did not do, what you did not see, what you did not touch, and that's by way of regret. And I've experienced that, and I don't want to be there again. So that's what I would leave.
No, we don't. Well, y'all heard it from her. Don't let nobody else tell your story. Okay, you tell your story. You got a unique one. Where can they find Tamara, because they can't find the rest of her on my podcast? Where else can they find more of you? Tamara?
So I am on Instagram, the CEO Wife 860, on Facebook, the CEO Wife, and also Tamara Mitchell-Davis on Facebook. Any shenanigans, you can find me on TikTok, the underscore the underscore CEO Wife. Don't judge me. I'm just putting that out there right now.
Everybody go to TikTok now. Forget Facebook. Forget everywhere else she just said.
It's just now building. So you'll find.
Go to TikTok for the shenanigans. That's what we want to see.
I like to dance. I like long walks in the park.
Oh man, I love it. Thank you so much. I know the CEO Wife. They're doing the workshops. They're doing conferences throughout the year. When is the next thing that anyone can look forward to maybe catching?
Yeah, so we have 2 book projects that will be released within the next few months. We have Blessed Not Broken Volume 5. We're on Volume 5. So the idea with that, I know we were closing, was to create our own chicken soup for the soul. And so it's Blessed Not Broken. Volume 5 will be released. Also, we have a couples book, which is Love, Business, and Marriage. Our conference, Pen and Profit Conference 2023, will be in Puerto Rico. So you can check us out at www.pen2profit.live.
Nice. Awesome. Well, thank you so much again for coming.
Thanks for having me.
Tamara Mitchell-Davis, y'all. It's free lunch, free food for your soul. Peace.